everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and today I'm going to be talking about a topic that gets brought up a ton on my channel, and that is how to handle rejection. Rejection is something that all of us will experience at some point in our lives, no matter how wonderful and great you are. So understand that you are not alone in this, whether it be a "we regret to inform you" letter from the top college on your list, a turn down from your dream job, or being ghosted by someone that you really liked. We're all going to experience this at some point, and you are not alone. Most of us have known the feeling, and by interacting with all of you, I understand that many of you have faced this when it comes to dating. And I also know that this can often make you feel really sad and discouraged about yourself. So today, I want to tell you that being rejected is totally normal. Rejection and failure is just a part of life, and the more you understand that and can cope with the fact that it's going to happen to you, the better off you will be. So today, I'm going to take a little deep dive into rejection and how you can use it for positivity and growth in your life instead of being sad and feeling defeated, because none of you should feel that way. Rejection is completely normal. So the first point I want you guys to all understand is that rejection stings. It's painful, it hurts, it feels like a jab in the chest. It really is just brutal. There have actually been studies that have been done that have shown that rejection is actually associated with the part of our brain that feels pain. And I found this little snippet that says, functional MRI scans compared brain activity in people who'd experienced rejection with brain activity in people who'd experienced physical pain, and found that many of the same regions of the brain lit up, and those regions had previously been linked to physical pain. Subsequent research found that the pain we feel from rejection is so akin to that we feel from physical pain that taking acetaminophen, such as Tylenol, after experiencing rejection actually reduced how much pain people reported feeling, and brain scans showed neutral pain signaling was lessened too, which is just insane. And I'm not going to recommend that you take Tylenol if you get rejected from a girl on Tinder, but it's just very interesting to see how associated it is with the parts of our brain that feel physical pain. So I think when you can understand that rejection is legitimately painful, it's been proven, it can help you kind of cope with it a little bit better and find ways to move forward. Although rejection in this day and age won't kill us like it might have in our evolutionary past, it still doesn't feel good. Rejection gets our attention, it stings, it hurts our ego, and it really makes us evaluate our social circumstances. So now I'm going to go into how we can kind of cope with that and make sure that we're dealing with rejection the right way. And that leads me into my next point, which is be kind to yourself. This is something that I think so many of us struggle with, and that's why I'm so happy that today's video is sponsored by BetterHelp. Big thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. If there's something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals, BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. You can start communicating within 48 hours with your licensed professional therapist. It's not a crisis line, it's not self-help, it is professional therapy done securely online. There's a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's more than 20,000 therapist network, which may not be locally available in many areas. The service is available for clients worldwide. You can log into your account anytime and send a message to your therapist. You get timely and thoughtful responses, plus you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions so you won't ever have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room like you would with traditional therapy. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it easy and free to change therapists if needed. And the best part about it all is that it's more affordable than traditional offline therapy, and financial aid is available to all of you that might need it. BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today, and so do I. Visit betterhelp.com/Courtney Ryan, that's better HELP, and join the over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. I have a special offer for all of you Courtney Ryan listeners down below to get 10% off of your first month with BetterHelp at betterhelp.com/Courtney Ryan. I have all the info down below in my description, and I'm also going to pin a comment so it's really easy for you guys to see it and find it. Mental health is important, the way you speak to yourself is important, and being kind and having grace with yourself is crucial. So this is something that I struggle with, and I'm sure a ton of you guys struggle with it as well. Understand that we can't always be what someone wants or needs 24/7, and that's okay. It's so important to be kind to yourself even when you are feeling a little bit discouraged or rejected. I think rejection can help us grow in the areas where we're falling a bit short, but I think it's equally as important to also focus on your strengths and how you can use those to your advantage as well. I also think a lot of the time we assume the worst, or our brain instantly goes to the worst case scenario. I know I have been very guilty of doing this in the past. And by assuming the worst or most hurtful situation, we're just hurting ourselves, right? So try to flip it into a positive mindset and understand that the way that you view things is incredibly important. So be kind to yourself and understand that the way you treat yourself and speak to yourself is far more important than what someone else thinks about you. Have a little bit of grace with yourself and be kind to yourself. It will make a huge difference in your mental health, your confidence, and the way you view yourself and the rejection that you face in life. It's not all about you, even though sometimes it feels like it is. Rejection feels like a very personal attack. It hurts, it stings, like I mentioned earlier, but there's often a ton of other factors that go into this as well that have nothing to do with you. Liking someone and them liking you back has nothing to do with your inherent worth and everything to do with your compatibility with that person. So again, there's normally always someone else involved or another factor involved that contributes to the rejection or the outcome of the situation. So it's not all about you, it's not so personal, and I think the second you realize that, the more you can detach yourself from it and not feel like it's such a personal attack. You can be as prepared as possible for something and things can still not work out. That's just the way that life is, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. For example here, you could have the best job interview of your entire life, and then someone else could be interviewed that has a connection to someone that's already on the team, and they could get the job instead of you, even though you were absolutely incredible. So understand that there is more that goes into it than just you and what you brought to the table, and there's often other factors included as well that again make it feel a lot less personal and hurtful. Rejection does not define you. It never has and it never will, and it holds no power over you unless you let it. So I would highly encourage you all to stop giving that rejection so much power over you and discouraging you from moving forward, because it's only going to hold you back. And 10 out of 10 times I can guarantee that rejection or failure will happen to you again at some point in your life. So the sooner you realize this, the better off you will be. Number 4, we have the abundance versus scarcity mindset, and I've done an entire video all about this. If you haven't seen it, I would highly encourage you all to check it out. I will link it down in the description below. So starting off right with an example here when it comes to dating and having this mindset when it comes to dating is going into a date worrying less if they like you and more about if you like them, because that takes so much unnecessary pressure off of you. And when you go in with this mindset of they have to like me, they're my only option, or I'll die forever alone, you're only going to put unnecessary pressure on yourself, make yourself far more nervous than you need to be, and hold yourself back from getting what you actually want in life. So I know a lot of times when people do this, they settle, they end up with someone who is not good for them because they thought this was their only option. I pinky promise you will have more options than this one that is in front of you, so don't sell yourself short and go in with that scarcity mindset, because it's only going to hurt you. Also, a huge part of the abundance versus scarcity mindset is practicing gratitude. Focus on the things you do have instead of the things that you don't. If you're constantly worried and caught up on the things that you don't have in life, you're always going to feel like you're falling short. It's never going to be enough, and you're always going to be unfulfilled and unhappy. So really being able to look at what you already have in your life and being thankful, grateful, and appreciative of that is going to help you move forward. So if you're someone who struggles with this, I encourage you all to write down one thing a day, at least one thing in your life that you're thankful for. And when you see it all in front of you and you see how much you actually do have, you're going to feel a lot more gratitude and thankful for the things that you already have, and it's going to make you long for those things you don't have a lot less. And the last little tip about rejection I have today is that it leads to growth. Some people are so terrified and fearful of failure and rejection that they don't even put themselves out there or try. And this is when it starts to become a much bigger problem. Being so excessively worried about failure or rejection to the point that we don't do things in our life that might benefit us can seriously compromise the quality of your life. If you let it, rejection can actually be a guide to showing you where you need to grow, where you fall short, or where you need to challenge yourself a little bit more. You can use this to figure out your strengths and your weaknesses, and it can actually really aid in your personal development and your growth and success. Another important thing to keep in mind is that rejection can often lead to something even better. So, anytime in the past, just for example, when I got broken up with or something didn't work out, I would feel so sad and defeated, or like I would never find anybody else or have a connection with any other guy. And that was so incredibly untrue. And I'm actually very thankful that none of those relationships or things in my life worked out, because it ultimately led me to where I'm at today. And I wouldn't trade where I'm at today for the world. And honestly, this is a much better place than anywhere else I could have ended up. So I'm thankful that those things in my past didn't work out, even though at the time the rejection stung. It hurt, it was painful, and I wasn't enjoying it in the time. The relationships I had that didn't work out, the schools I didn't choose to go to, the jobs I didn't get, all led me to where I'm at today in my happy, healthy, incredible relationship, talking to 200,000 of you on YouTube as my full-time job, and I simply wouldn't trade that for the world. So anytime you face rejection or experience something that doesn't work out and you really want it, understand that it could ultimately lead you somewhere far better than you could ever imagine. So rejection is not always a bad thing if you kind of spin your mindset to focus on the positives and use it as a way to grow and develop into your future self rather than being discouraged or stuck behind. So I hope you all found this video helpful. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to be in the loop for when I release new content. Let me know in the comments down below sometimes when you've experienced rejection and failure that actually ended up leading you somewhere even better, or some tips and tricks you have for the other guys on how you deal with rejection. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. I love connecting with all of you guys on there as well. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.